Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are ETX ROCKS!
Hit the brakes!
Cut! Hello, y'all. This is Boston Chris Barnes with the very first episode of ETX ROCKS, a brand new podcast brought to you by East Texas Music and East Texas Friends and Events. I'm sitting here with two young ladies who are part of a band called Pure Fate. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Kadie Lynn.
And I'm Devyn Nave.
And they're both amazing. You can go to their Facebook on facebook.com/Kadie Lynn and Pure Fate. And also Kadie Lynn also has her own Facebook, which is facebook.com/Kadie Lynn.
With a D.
With a D, that's right. K-E-K-A-D-I-E.
There we go.
L-Y-N-N.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Heather Lynn, which is L-I-N-N. Anyway, Miss Kadie Lynn last year, 2015, won the East Texas Music Awards Female Vocalist of the Year. How'd that make you feel, Kadie?
It was absolutely amazing. You know, I was going up against so many great singers, and to feel like that much support behind me was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was a really cool moment. I was happy to be able to be the one to present you that award, which was super cool. And I was like, hey, all right. And, you know, beforehand, you were like, I don't think I have a shot, you know.
Yeah, that's what she was saying, because I was there.
I was like, oh, no. I heard the other girls that were in the singers category, the female vocalist category, and I was like, oh, geez, no, I have no chance, you know, because they're amazing.
Yeah, you were paired with Heather Lynn and Shelby Downing and I forget who else now, but you told me, you were like, Boston, there's no way I can win this, and I said, you know what? It's all up to God. Remember I told you that? Like an hour before you won.
Yep.
And it happened, right? How old are you, Kadie?
I'm 12.
And Devon?
I'm 17.
And wow, young people taking over East Texas, y'all. Wow. So anyway, I know you have a single out right now.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what's that called?
It's called Stronger, and currently it's number 69 in the charts.
And that's the Texas Music Charts?
Texas Regional Radio Charts.
Texas Regional Radio, number 69. Wow, that's your first single too, right?
It is, yes.
And you wrote the entire song?
Yes.
12 years old, y'all. 12 years old, writing music. Y'all can go on youtube.com and find that single. It's under Kadie Lynn, again with a D, and it's called Stronger. And you won't believe she's 12 years old, that's for sure, when you see this video.
And you can also get it on Spotify and iTunes.
And let me tell you another one, the Google Play Store. Because
Really?
that's where I got mine.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have it on iTunes and Spotify.
Yep, Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, I'm sure. If you can't get it from any of those, just Google the song, and I'm sure they'll be
So watch
somewhere.
our music video.
Yeah.
Right. So, Devon, how long have you been playing drums?
I've been playing I think this is my 4th year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into it when my dad bought me a drum set, because I've been wanting to play for a while. And then I took some lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And after I kind of got done with the lessons, that was when my drum teacher saw Kadie's band manager, her manager technically, saying that he wanted a backup band for a 12-year-old singer, and so my drum teacher was like, you should go try out, this sounds perfect for you. So I did, and that was like almost 2 years ago.
And like I told you before we started recording, that's a big step for a parent to buy a drum set. So kudos to y'all.
Yeah.
And I know they're listening, so kudos. I couldn't have done that with my kids, that's for sure. They make enough noise on their own. But so you got something big coming up.
I do.
That a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah, America's Got Talent, actually. I auditioned, and the show starts May 31st, so you guys should tune in and see if you catch me on there.
Yes, that's right, y'all. It's the celebrity death match between Kadie Lynn and Simon Cowell. Y'all make sure you check that out. I believe that's on NBC.
Yes.
And that's America's Got Talent. And you're from Kemp.
Yes.
And you're from Irving.
From Irving, yes.
So East Texas-ish.
Yeah, basically.
Right?
I'm East Texas.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we'll go with Irving too. Because she's a drummer, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you're 17, but you'll find out someday that the drummers are kind of the rambunctious in the band.
Very.
You know, the drummer is.
I don't know. She's pretty rambunctious on her own.
Well, she's 12.
True.
You know, you're supposed to be rambunctious and like shoes and all of those things.
Basically.
I was seriously just looking at some shoes over there, like, ooh, Mom, give me these Sperry.
Yeah. We're sitting here at PorchFest, y'all, 2016, right here at the world famous back porch in Kilgore, Texas. And Kadie and Devon performed this morning. They opened up the show on Saturday. Probably one of the best lineups I've ever seen locally, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy talent out here on this day.
Talented people here.
Definitely.
So, I mean, we had Kadie Lynn started off. Second Childhood right now is playing outdoors. After them is Daniel Smalley, and I think they're finishing with Adam Brown possibly tonight. So. And then on the main stage is Cody Wayne, Allie Venable, Dag Nabbit, and Darren Morris. And I mean, if you're not at PorchFest, why aren't you? You know. Again, this won't be published until June 1st, so this will actually be on after the television show.
Day after.
Oh, awesome!
Because May 31st,
right.
So they can watch it.
But we will be announcing the show probably right after I'm done recording it.
Awesome.
So hopefully people can watch you on the 31st, and then tune in here on the next day and blam. And y'all are the first interviews for this podcast, so
that's so cool.
That could be a trivia question someday. You just never know. Let's hope. So, you know, I've known you a little while, Kadie, and I've always been really impressed with your humbleness, and you know that. I've told you that before, haven't I? So what I really want to know from you is how, at 12 years old, can you be in this business for 9 years now? You've been going since you were 3, right? So it's pretty much all you've ever known. How do you stay so grounded? How do you make sure you have a childhood as well as...
You know, as you can probably tell, I'm pretty mature for my age, so...
I agree.
Yes, yes.
But, you know, I really have a childhood. You know, people act like she sings all the time and she doesn't have a childhood, but that's what they don't know is, like, I sing on the weekends. You might see me at night doing stuff. But I mean, my parents still taught me how to ride a bike and do all that stuff, you know.
We go to
school. I had an amazing
so.
childhood, and I'm still living it out right now, even though I act a lot older.
Right.
But music right now, I would say, would be the highlight of my childhood.
Right.
I agree.
And how did both of you, I'll start with you, Devon, how did you just kind of wake up one day and say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to make music. I want to express myself.
Well, when I was young, probably about 5 to 7 maybe, I taught myself to play our piano and our guitar that we had at home, just lying around. And that was kind of the first step in music. And I've always sang. I'm not as good as Kadie, but I like to sing. That
goes by opinion.
That's true.
Don't ever down yourself, you know? Always have confidence.
Yeah.
You're always better than everybody. You're a drummer.
I'm better than you, Kadie.
Another death match right here at the tree.
No, but that was kind of my first step, and then I played.
Hold on. Okay, it's still going. Go.
Okay, I started playing violin in 6th grade when we had to choose a music like choir or band or orchestra, and my older cousin played violin, so I was like, I want to play violin like him. And I still play violin, but it used to be my main instrument, but now drums is my main instrument.
Yeah.
And then I've always been going to concerts and stuff, and I love listening to music and everything. And I always was really like amazed by the drummers, and I was like, I want to play drums.
Well, who was your favorite drummer?
My favorite drummer is a female drummer who is the reason that I started playing. Her name is Jess Bowen, and she's in a pop rock band called the Somerset.
Okay, cool.
And she's amazing. And I saw her, and I started liking the Somerset, and I was like, wow, I want to be like her.
That's cool. And
so that's where I am now.
Awesome. So, who are your favorite artists, Kadie?
Oh, geez.
Well, you know what? Answer that question first. I mean, how did you just? I mean, did you just want to do music?
You know, it didn't really become a choice. I mean, I started off, it was like, hey, this is who I am, you know. It wasn't really like a choice, like, hey, I chose to do this, you know. It's really like just who I am, and it's always been a part of me.
Right.
But I mean, we did choose to push it further when I was about 9. I sat down with my parents, and we were all like, hey, you know, we're going pretty far with this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So do you really want to do this? And of course I said yes, and that's got me here now. So
yeah. And you guys do so many shows.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's all over the place, and it's really cool. And I've told your mom so many times that I was so impressed with your humility and your heart and your maturity, you know. And
Thank you.
I think you and I kind of connected right away too. You know, kind of kindred spirits or whatever it is. You know, it's like anytime I see your mom post something on Facebook, I get almost as excited as she is. You know, and I'm like, come on, give me more information. I know you can't, but give it to me anyway. You know, it's always cool to get messages from your mom from the Kadie Lynn home. You know, that's how she finishes everything.
How she says that.
Yeah. So who are your mentors? Your you know, people that inspired you?
People that inspire me, definitely my mom and my dad. Dang. Okay. But my mom and my dad.
Artist-wise?
I'm going to do some people close to me that aren't.
Okay.
The guy that first taught me how to play guitar, Brad Robertson, my cousin. Then Rick Richards, our band manager.
Yeah, she's our band manager.
And then John DeFore, who's now my songwriting coach and guitar coach. And then definitely Janie Lybrand. She has helped me out so much. She is amazing, absolutely incredible.
Coach.
My vocal coach, yes. And now celebrities.
Well, who's in your iPod? Like, who are you going to listen to?
Green Day. Green Day.
We both like Green Day a lot.
Merle Haggard.
Wow.
Yeah, Willie Nelson.
She likes all the old and the new stuff.
Oh yeah, I love everything.
We have a lot of older songs
Anything
and a lot of newer
you can throw at me, I'll find a way to love it.
Oh, when I plug my phone into the car when I'm picking the kids up from school or whatever, they hate it because they just don't know what's going to come on. It'll be Merle Haggard, then Eminem, and then Frank Sinatra.
That's like my Spotify. That's my Spotify.
Me too, yeah.
And my stepson Nathan will be like, Dad, your iPod has ADHD.
It's like bipolar.
Yeah. It's all over the place. Come on. Pick a genre. You know?
You can't.
All genres.
No, you can't.
All
I mean,
genres
I'm
are
always connected to a song that tells a story.
Yeah, me
no
too.
matter how
You know what I'm
it sounds.
saying? And that's what disconnects me from a lot of the music today.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I love your song so much
Me
is
too.
because
Yeah.
it tells a story. And, you know, you're 12 years old and maybe it's not a story a 12-year-old should know, but you pull it off. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, you pull it off, you know? It's like 12-year-olds aren't supposed to love. They're not supposed to be stronger. But you pull it off. And that's the artistic nature of the song is you're able to express yourself even though you shouldn't be able to express that yet. Does that make sense? You know, that's been my connection with the song.
Makes sense to us.
Okay. Because when I first heard the song, I'm always looking for a connection with the song,
Me too.
regardless if I know the person or not, you know. And when I heard your song, I was like, man, there's pain there, you know, and it's a pain that a 12-year-old shouldn't feel, but yet you pulled it off. So I was really impressed with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what's next?
Well,
Outside of America's Got Talent, do you have another song in the pipeline?
I do. I'm not going to say what it is, but we do have another song that we're going to be releasing.
Oh,
pretty
world
soon.
premiere of ETX Rocks. Come on.
That we're going to be releasing pretty soon.
Along with a music video, right?
Along with the music video,
Yeah.
yes. We actually already have the song recorded. We just got to do the music video. Then we're going to release it after we get that done. So that's going to be really exciting.
And you have multiple other songs.
Yeah, we have multiple
that are
others
lined up.
that
just
are lined up
nothing.
to record.
Yeah,
Right.
lined up
For
to
an
record.
album. That's the process we're working on right now.
And this is all, I mean, how are you going to make time for, you know, your original stuff and then the explosion that is national, you know, AGT?
Well, I mean, obviously there's nothing to do on a plane, so I mean, I could write there and like write in the shuttle, you know. I always have ideas that just like come to me. I just write them on my like notes in my phone, or I'll write them if I have a notebook, and I'll write them in a notebook, or I'll like try and memorize it if I don't have anything,
Right.
you know. But you know, I always write songs like at least one a week, you know. And I also have a songwriting class that I go to with John DeFore, and he like gives me like challenging subjects to write about, you know, like one he told me to do like write about an inanimate object, you know, like as you're the inanimate object.
It's easy for you to say.
But it was pretty crazy, you know. It's the challenging subjects. You got to sit down and think about it, you know. They don't just like come to you.
Right.
But it's really cool, you know. It's an exercise and for your brain, and you just kind of get out of the box more, and you start doing more subjects instead of like just like one main thing, you know.
Right.
But it's definitely crazy, and I'm gonna definitely keep songwriting. Like say if I don't go anywhere on America's Got Talent, you know, I still have the songwriting thing that's going well for me right now.
And we still have all the shows that we're playing.
Definitely.
That you're playing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
And any publicity is good publicity.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, Now, do you write music as well, Devyn?
I don't. I'm not good at it. I've tried before and I'm not.
Well, you gotta at least write your own drum parts, right?
I write to her originals. Sometimes I do my own drums. On Stronger, the guy that I don't know who put the music together.
Michael Pollard.
Yeah. He put a drum track to it, so I just learned that drum track as I would like any other cover song.
Right,
But then,
and then I just
she and Family.
Yeah, her
she made her own.
two of her other songs, She and Family, I made my own little drum part to.
Oh, cool.
And kind of put my own fills in other songs and stuff, just kind of my own style.
That's cool. And so you're still in school.
I'm graduating this year.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And so what's after school for you?
I'm gonna go to I'm homeschooled, and I'm gonna go to an online college for I'm thinking like computer science because I love computers and stuff. But music is my main focus.
Okay.
Right now.
All right. I got a really tough one for you.
Yeah.
All right. As a 12-year-old musician, that's fairly well known, right, locally. What advice can you give other kids on how how to get into the business, number one, and number two, how to stay true to themselves?
Well, always just dream big, follow your dreams. As Steven Tyler would say, dream on. But it's a lot of hard work, but it all pays off in the end, always. And even if it doesn't pay off right away, it'll always pay off, definitely. And always just stay true to yourself. The easy way to do that
Remember where you came from.
Remember where you came from, like keep in touch with all your best friends and like all your family members and everything.
Don't let it go to your head.
Yeah.
And don't just leave everyone behind.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And just be humble, and be kind. A good source of information on what to do is definitely the Bible. So I follow that daily, because there's a lot of stuff like on how you should act and a lot of things in the Bible, But definitely the Bible is a good source of information, a better source than I could ever be.
Right.
So, but
there's always good insight from somebody who's kind of living the road life and the gig life that a lot of the musicians call it. And of course, there's so many kids out there that have talent.
Yeah.
Maybe it's suppressed. Maybe their parents don't try to, cultivate it or whatever. And I imagine we'll probably have some kids listening to this show. So, as a pair of musicians who are younger and still in school, I think y'all have the kind of insight that can help other children.
Yeah, definitely.
And where I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, where, it was ghetto, it was, drugs on every corner, You mentioned Steven Tyler. I've spent the weekend at his house when I was your age.
Really?
Okay.
Wow, awesome.
So yeah, that's a true story. But up there, kids aren't really trying to find things that'll keep themselves out of trouble.
Yeah.
So it's real easy to kind of get dragged down by drugs and violence and all of that thing. And I'm sure it's the same kind of peer pressures apply to y'all too.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't been a kid in a long time, but I remember. So. How do y'all deal with those kinds of things? Peer pressure and.
I just try to stay out of situations that make me very uncomfortable, and stay away from people that are involved in drugs and violence and all that stuff. That's always a good thing to go by. Always have great friends that are a great role model to you, not just supportive or someone you think's cool.
Right.
Always.
There's always that one person that's going to try to drag you down under the water, you know what I mean?
Definitely. And try and get what you have. But,
right.
Yeah.
Just always make sure you have that at least one friend that you can always count on, and that's a good role model that you can follow. And make sure that you have someone like really close to you that you can always fall back on.
That's a good answer. Very good answer. You agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So, what's your favorite place to play?
Oh, jeez.
I like playing here.
Yeah, the back porch is a very
Is this
fun
your
gig.
second or third time playing here? Because it's my second time playing.
I think it's my second.
Yeah.
Third? Second? Third?
I know y'all opened for Allie.
We opened for Allie.
Did we?
Bill played with Allie twice. You played with her once, and you played with her. That's twice.
Okay.
Well, we've played her a couple of times, and I love playing at the back porch. It's such a cool and welcoming venue.
Yeah, I agree. And they're very, very popular. You know, I mean, you don't just win an award around here. You know, you've got to do something right.
But I love every gig that I go to. You know, it's all the gigs I found like in Texas. You know, not everyone in Texas, but a lot of people in Texas in the music industry are very, very welcoming, very kind. And you always feel at home around them.
Right.
And there's a lot of gigs that I absolutely love, all the Opries, and then
Cowboy churches.
Yeah, cowboy churches.
The Opries are fun.
Oh yeah, they're a lot.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of her Opries to watch her, not to play, but.
Have you guys ever played Gladewater Opry?
Yes, I
have. You have. So have I. There's something you didn't know about me. Yeah.
I love the Gladewater Opry. I haven't been there in a while.
I'll tell you, the first time I sang on that stage, I was like, you know what? Elvis Presley sang on this stage one time. Now you try to pull out a note when you get that running through your head. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, Elvis stood here.
I'm not gonna compete with that.
Right? And I was auditioning with an Elvis song too, so it was like, whoa, put the brakes on this,
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that I dabble a little bit in singing, when a band will let me get up. Last night Del Rio and Marshall, they let me get up and sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I don't advertise that too often. But now it's on a podcast. Where are we at? So we're listening here to, I guess this is still Second Childhood. I hope you can't hear it too loud. So when are y'all going to have a physical copy? Do you guys have physical copies of the single already?
Yes, we do.
On your website, you can get them.
Yeah, or you can, if you're around us,
Yeah, if you live.
get a hold of my mom, or if you see me at a gig, we usually have some. We have T-shirts,
Yeah, and we have the hard copy CD of the single Stronger for $5.
And we have
your shirts, your new Stronger shirts.
And then we have, for $20, and then you can go on my website and you can buy them online.
And what's the website?
KadieLynnmusic.com, KADIELYNN.
Okay.
Music.com. Yeah.
And I know her Facebook page, is very, very popular. How many likes does that have now, Kadie?
14,202.
Oh my gosh, my mom has
14,202.
I was about to say 14,000, but 14K.
I'm not gonna lie, I know the exact number of people in my group too. So it's 15,678. But that was before I left the house, so.
So you never know.
You just don't know, But that's East Texas Friends and Events, by the way. Join. Shameless plug. And this podcast is brought to you by ETFE and, of course, East Texas Music, the founder and creator of the East Texas Music Awards, which, of course, Miss Kadie Lynn won Female Vocalist of the Year in 2015. And I'm going to let her talk to y'all about getting votes for her this year.
Yeah, I'm actually in the female vocalist again this year, and I'm also in the music video, and then I'm in songwriter and then guitarist. So you guys can go vote for me there, and
And all you have to do to vote is go to etxmusic.com, and there's a voting link there. Click on the voting link.
Oh, also, we're for country band, too.
Pure Fate is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Well, you can, the way it works, actually, is you can nominate anybody.
Yeah.
Right? So if...
And then they choose the
Right, so it's basically a write-in vote.
Yeah.
There's just a box there, and you write in your vote. And then the first 4 weeks is just the nomination process. And then the top 5 vote getters get into the finals.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a final round voting. Kadie should know all this. She just forgot.
Yeah.
She's like, I won,
I don't remember much.
Basically, we do a lot of stuff.
I remember that night. It was great.
Yeah, that was a really fun night.
Yeah, and you performed last year at the awards. How was that?
It was a lot of fun, There was a lot of people there. It was a big stage, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
You look so little up there.
I know. The stage is huge.
I think that was actually the first time we met Allie. Allie
that was
Venable
the first
played.
time I met Allie.
Allie's super cool.
Oh my God, yes. And
Yeah, we're gonna have her on the
band is
show.
awesome.
Hopefully, I'm sure she'll do it.
Right.
I hope. Allie, I love you.
We love you too.
But I think we're just about done. Is there anything else you guys would like to say out there for the fans? We'll go with you, Devon, first.
Thank you for supporting us, and go like our Facebook page. We have a Twitter and an Instagram also. You can just look up Pure Fate, PURFATE, and find us there. And you can check in where we'll be next.
Awesome. Kadie?
Thank you guys so much for all the support, and be watching for me on America's Got Talent. Very fun process, you know. Make sure you tune in to see what Simon says, since he's there this year as one of the judges.
Yeah.
It's definitely a crazy process, but you gotta if you want to find out, then you gotta watch the show.
So before we go, before I end this, I have to ask you a question. It's been driving me crazy because I've seen the commercial for the show.
Yes.
So Simon says we need you on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Was he talking to you?
I don't know. You have to watch it to see. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I can't say nothing.
Okay, so that'll be May 31st on NBC. I think it's 9/8 Central.
No, 7.
Okay, so it would be 8/7 Central. So 7 o'clock East Texas time on NBC, America's Got Talent. Y'all watch, support, and when it's time to, vote for Kadie Lynn. And make sure you go on to Facebook for facebook.com/Kadie Lynn, facebook.com Kadie Lynn and Pure Fate, PURFATE.
Yep.
And you can go on her website for merch, CDs, singles, all that at KadieLynnMusic.com. Thank you all for listening to the first episode of ETX Rocks, and we'll catch you next time. Remember, support local music, and ETX Rocks.
This podcast was brought to you by several of our sponsors. Check them out on Facebook and on their websites. Lone Star Music School, Studio 333 Recording Studio, and Malden Productions. ETX Rocks is a production of ETX Music. And remember, ETX rocks.